Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Amanda.
I'm Laura.
I'm Kendra.
And you are in for a treat because we have a special guest star today. Dr. Scott Bentz is joining us to talk about his experience with us in our physician wellness program, Wellness 911. He's an emergency medicine doc in Minnesota and just a great guy in general. We love him. You've heard from a couple of our female clients so far, but we are excited to have a Y chromosome chat with us today because after all, it isn't just women that are affected by some of the negative aspects of working in medicine. Our male colleagues are right there with us in the beloved dumpster fire that we like to refer to as our jobs. Thank you so much for joining us today, Scott.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, just like Amanda said, Scott, thank you so much because I think this is going to resonate with all of our male colleagues. We just want you to tell your story. What made you decide to try our program?
So, coaching was not something that I was seeking out. I had felt burnout at various levels throughout my whole career. I got done with residency in 2007, and I've been at the same job since then. And I felt various levels of frustration and everything throughout the years. I heard about your podcast after I read about it in one of the monthly magazines, and so I started listening to the podcast. And it's, a few episodes into it, you guys start talking about the cognitive errors, and a lot of those really hit home with me. I could see myself in them and see me looking back, see myself doing these things and realizing some of the things I was doing that were not helpful. So it made me listen more. And then even at that point, I still hadn't considered coaching. But the group I work for put out some wellness initiatives. And one of the things they allowed us to use our CME money for was the whole physician program. And it was towards the end of the year, and I had some use it or lose it money in my CME account. And so I was like, okay, well, let's give this a shot. I don't know what to expect. It's not something where I'm like, oh, I think this is what I need. It was more of a, well, let's see. And that's how I met all you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm still incredibly impressed with your wellness initiative because I feel like your group is on the cutting edge of some of this. So many people have not even heard of it yet. And yet your wellness director was like, I really want this. I think it would help my people, and just made it available. You didn't have to do it, but you could use your CME money. So that was exciting that somebody's trying something that actually works instead of our previous experience.
Right. So that's how I started with it, and I went through the 12-week program and then let it go after that and paid attention to everything that I had been taught. But then when you came out with the subscription program later, and I felt like that would be something that would be helpful for me. So I started up again with that, and I'm doing 2 times a month coaching sessions, and I feel like it's very helpful for me.
Awesome. Yay, membership. Yes, membership pays rewards.
We hardly ever talk about like our offerings on the podcast, but yes, we've had a couple of iterations now, and you can always go to the website and find out more about that. But yes,
Yeah,
I'm super excited. We have totally changed it up.
Yeah. All right. So what kept you from trying it, or almost kept you from trying it? And what do you feel about that now?
I think it was just, the usual apprehension of this is something we don't talk about a lot with our colleagues. I mean, we kind of do. We say, yeah, I'm feeling really burned out, but that's about as deep as it gets. And then just the apprehension of not knowing what this program is going to be like. Am I going to be delving into deep feelings and things like that? And it's really not like that. That was probably my initial apprehension, is like, this is just not something I normally do. And so
we're going to make
why
you
would
go
I
through
try?
childhood traumas.
Yeah, right.
Your deepest, darkest fears.
No.
And weird stuffs in the depths of your... No, it's not.
Yes.
We're not therapists. We don't do it.
No, it is not therapy. It can be therapeutic, though.
Yes, it can be therapeutic, but it's not therapy. It's not the Oprah show, people. So just keep that in mind. What do you wish you would have known before you started, if anything?
I think kind of just that it's therapeutic, or that it's not therapy, but it can be therapeutic. Like, it was pretty easy to get into that program and see how it can benefit me and how especially certain aspects of it can benefit me.
How do you feel about the program now that you went through the whole program and you are a member?
I think it is something that can help a lot of people. It doesn't change our frustrations. It doesn't change the system. And as we all know, the system is not going to change fast enough or enough to help us, to help those of us that are feeling really burned out. But the program is something that you can do for yourself to deal with it on your own and to make sure you're handling it the best way you can and recovering from your burnout and making it doesn't solve everything, but it makes things a lot better.
Oh, I love that. I tell you what, it makes us feel so happy. Like our misery was not for nothing. Like,
It's meaning making.
we got some meaning. So Scott, how long did it take once you started coaching sessions before you started feeling better?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if I can give an exact timeline because I feel I still am going back to things that I have learned because I haven't 100% enacted them, and I'm still I still slip back into the frustrations and all the things that I don't want to be doing at times. But I think it was, just a few sessions into it, after watching some of the videos and that I at least felt like, all right, there's room for improvement here that is attainable. And that insight there helped me feel a lot better, knowing that this isn't just where I'm stuck. I have choices and that things can get better.
Awesome. Good. So what are some of the wins that you've had since you started coaching?
So as far as specific instances of wins, I don't know if I can relate it to that, but I think, overall win is realizing what I can change and what I can't and focusing effort in that. And that kind of sounds cliche, but I think we don't do that enough at work, and we rail against the things that we're never going to be able to change. And being able to just let that go is very freeing. One of the other wins is that I'm less reactionary to things. And even just in my own head of, something happens and I start spinning about it, I find I'm doing that less and less now. And then the other thing is that this has obviously been applicable outside of work. In my home life, I'm less reactionary. I feel like I'm calmer and better for my family.
Those are
I-
massive wins.
Those
Right.
are
Massive.
huge. They are
Massive.
huge.
But you gave 3 massive ones. That was
Yeah.
amazing.
That's awesome.
And the reason you have these wins is because you took each one of these steps and you keep showing up. You're very consistent in going to coaching and you're applying stuff and you're rewiring your brain. It's really, really impressive. And I know that that everyone is benefiting from it, probably especially your family. So
Yeah,
great job for all that hard work.
I just had this conversation with my wife just a couple days ago where we have 2 teenage boys, and I said, the surliness is really hard to handle right now. And she laughed and she's like, yeah. And I think, you know, a lot of the things I've learned here have helped me deal with that surliness and say that he's a teenager. That's what they do. Live with it. You're not gonna punish him out of it or yell him out of it or anything like that. So there's a perfect example of it bleeding over into my family life.
And I like what you said, Laura. It's like you did this. Like we put
Yes.
information out there, but you could totally gloss over the information and not apply it to your life and not have any of the changes. So like you did this for yourself and for your family, and you deserve credit for that. Like that is an amazing gift to your patients, to you, to your family, to you're sending ripples out that are different.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And not
Oh,
only
yeah.
that, but your brain, just like you said, I love what you said, is like, I still go back to some of the things. Congratulations, your brain's working normally. Like, it takes time to rewire, it takes time for that neural pathway you didn't realize that the old thought that you made, that 5-lane highway, was made over time, but you didn't realize it because it just formed. And then when you became aware of it not working for you anymore, now we're trying to change it. That takes time. And so what an awareness to even say, like, I still go back. My brain wants to offer up that frustration that drove me berserk. And now I'm just aware. And now I can just, thank you, brain, for offering that up. But I've chosen a
Yeah.
different path, and it just takes time. And so thank you for that's just real, guys. That's not
real.
scripted.
That's real. Like I have very clear memories of not even being aware that my thoughts were thoughts. They were just reality to me. Like, why are other people seeing things differently? Because this is how it is, because this is how it is in my brain. That didn't serve me very well. So
we don't, I know we've talked about this before, but like when I start having F-bombs, like muttering F-bombs, like constantly under my breath, like, there's something that's going on here. Like just being able to notice that, like, that's my cue, that there's something I can work on there. Like, whereas I would have carried that with me and just added on top of it for layers and layers and layers and layers. So it's just better.
yes. So what's your favorite part of our program?
I think the flexibility of what we talk about. The program has specific topics that you work through, and most of them I found very helpful, but there was, like the financial part. Thankfully, my wife and I are on the same page when it comes to saving and spending, and we're comfortable financially. And so that I didn't really have a lot to deal with. But the flexibility of saying, well, I don't really want to talk about that. Is there something else we can talk about? Or I come to a session and I say, this thing has been frustrating me at work, or this situation happened. Help me take a look at this and realize what I'm looking at wrong and how I need to think about this. There's a script, but you can go off script. And I find that more helpful than just, here's the program, work through it, and this is what you learn.
So what was the biggest surprise once you started the online modules and coaching sessions?
I think, like I said a little bit earlier, it ended up being a lot easier to get into it and talk about it than what I thought it would be. It's not touchy-feely. It's almost more clinical of, here's what's going on with you, here's how you work through it. And it puts you in the driver's seat, and it's not dredging up memories from the past and working through trauma and things like that. It's pretty forward thinking and, clinical. Like I said, it's not woo like you guys sometimes use.
Yeah.
No.
We are. Now, there are programs out there. However, we're emergency physicians, so we're prone to no feelings anyway, right?
Right.
We're
That would
working
have
on that
not strung
ourselves.
home. Yeah, that would have not struck home with me. Yeah.
It is important to feel those feelings, but we're not going to go back to your past and dredge those
Right.
up. Good Lord. It happened, and now
some,
where do you want to go?
To be fair, and to be clear, some clients do more feeling stuff than others, but it's
absolutely.
You get to drive it. You get to do what you want in the session. We just facilitate.
Well, that's true, because who knows better for your life than you? So you are the driver of this sort of situation. So Scott, for somebody just like you out there, because there's lots of us, like even myself, when I found coaching for the first time, was very skeptical. Like, what is this? Some sort of, I don't know, this doesn't sound right. But for someone just like you out there, what have you learned that might help somebody?
So, like I mentioned earlier, that I have choices. I haven't exercised hardly any of those choices, that the big ones that you talk about. Like I'm still at my same job. I haven't left medicine, but there's choices out there. And just realizing that is incredibly freeing and powerful. And then, we have control over how we show up and how we react to things. And it's not somebody else's fault that I feel a certain way. It's my own interpretation of that. And having that knowledge of that control is big for me. And it helps me remember that I can show up however I want. And then I think the other big thing that I've learned is that self-care is real and it's a big deal, but it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be lots of little things that take 10 minutes or, once a week, that sort of thing. But that is integral to all of this, because if you're not at least doing those minimal things to elevate yourself, it's not going to be as successful.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree that sense of you still do have agency. At some point in my career, I felt like I lost that. Like I was stuck. There was nothing I could do. The system was too big. I was a cog in a wheel. I totally relate to that. And then just feeling like, oh my gosh, that's just a story I've been telling myself was I'm right there with you. What would you say to somebody who is still on the fence, considering trying a program like ours, but hesitating?
Well, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably burnt out. You're probably not listening to this because everything is great. And if you're feeling burnt out, welcome to the majority, because the majority of us are. I mean, all the surveys support that. I think emergency medicine is over 60% burnt out on their last. So you're not alone. You're in the majority. That's okay. You can't wait for the system to change. You have to take care of yourself. And I feel like this program helps people do that, helps physicians do that. It gives you the power and the tools that you need to work through it on your own and show up better to your job, to your family. It's easy. It's, like I said, it's more clinical. It's not woo. So if you're on the fence because you're worried about having to talk about feelings and trauma, it's not that big a deal. And if nothing else, you get CME when you're done. And we've all been to bad CME meetings where you still get CME at the end. So if that's all you get out of it, you still get CME out of it.
That's awesome. If all else fails, check the box, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There are worse
But
things.
best case scenario, your life is better.
Yes.
I love it.
Your life will be better. But if you're still stuck and if you're one of those people that this is not going to work for you, which I have a tough time believing that for anybody. I mean, just like me, listen to those first few episodes of the thought errors, and if you can't pick out a couple of those that you don't see yourself doing, or that you see yourself doing, you can absolutely benefit from this.
This is very true. So thank you, Scott, so much. Thanks for your insight on being on the other side. And we just honor you for the journey you've taken, because you decided to do it. You took a leap and you took the first step, and were brave enough to say, I got to do something. And so why not? So just like you said, you had a choice, and we just honor you for that. And thank you for joining us today, especially an ER doc on their day off. So we extra honor you for that.
Yes.
So we give you props, and thank you so much for just, being transparent, getting a little vulnerable with us, and really resonating with some people out there. I just know that our listeners are really going to connect with your story. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for having me, and thank you for helping me. I've worked with all of you, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And from all the docs out there that you help, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
I'm going to cry. Tear, don't do it.
No feelings, Scott. Remember.
I wasn't trying to be.
So nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And for all you out there that are listening, join us April 5th through the 7th in Huntington Beach, SoCal. Anyone? For the Revitalized Women Retreat. We'll include the link to register in the show notes. And like we said earlier, we recently launched a new version of our online course, Wellness 911 version 2.0. So go to our website, www.thewholephysician.com, to get more information. We take demoralized doctors from fried to fantastic with our easy and evidence-based Wellness 911 program. So until next time, you are whole, you are a gift to medicine, and the work you do matters.